All right, let's get right into it. Inside every single device you own, your phone, your laptop, maybe even your car, there's this invisible, unsung hero working around the clock. It's the one hidden component that makes all of our modern batteries possible, and today we're finally going to give it the spotlight it deserves. It's called the Solid Electrolyte Interphase, or, SEI for short. So, have you ever wondered what the secret is? What lets a battery charge up and drain down thousands and thousands of times, year after year, instead of just, dying out after a few uses? Well, the answer is way more fascinating than you might think. The secret is a microscopic shield. And here's the wildest part. It's literally born from the controlled destruction of the very liquid that gives the battery its life. Yeah, it sounds like a total paradox, right? But believe me, this destructive process is the key to absolutely everything. So that shield, that's the solid electrolyte interface. I want you to think of it like a perfectly designed, impossibly thin gatekeeper that's controlling the entire flow of energy right down at the atomic level. It is, without a doubt, one of the most critical and delicate parts in all of modern energy storage. Okay, so what is it technically? Well, the SEI is a special kind of layer, a passivation layer. All that means is it forms on the negative electrode, the anode, and makes it way less reactive. And get this, it only happens during the very first charge of the battery's life, when the liquid electrolyte is designed to decompose on purpose, just to create this new, solid, and incredibly important layer. And this isn't some brand new idea either. The concept was actually first dreamed up way back in 1979, but it took until the 90s for scientists to really figure out how to control it. And that breakthrough, that's what unlocked the entire lithium-ion battery revolution we live in today. And now, perfecting this tiny layer is basically the key to our entire energy future. Okay, so let's get into how this shield is actually built. We said it's born from destruction, so let's really look at the pretty dramatic origin story of how it's forged during that one critical first charge cycle. It all happens in 5 key steps. First, the liquid electrolyte touches the anode and starts reacting. Then, the lithium salt that's mixed in breaks apart. This kicks off what's called nucleation, basically the birth of these tiny little inorganic crystals right on the anode surface. These crystals then grow and get denser and denser, and then, and this is the magic part, the process stops itself. The shield it created stops the very reaction that formed it. It's called passivation, and it creates a perfectly stable state. So what really makes this little shield so special? Well, its structure isn't just one uniform thing. It's actually a brilliant piece of natural engineering with 2 very different layers, and each one has a very specific job to do. The structure is pretty amazing. You've got the inner layer right up against the anode that's inorganic, dense, and hard. It's a great electrical insulator. But then the outer layer is completely the opposite. It's organic, it's kind of porous, and it's flexible, and it's specifically designed to let lithium ions pass right on through. And that right there is the SEI's superpower. It's like the perfect bouncer at a club. It blocks electrons from getting through, no way. But it lets the lithium ions, the actual energy carriers, pass through freely. It's a selective filter. And this is so important because by stopping those electrons, it prevents the electrolyte from just continuously decomposing forever, which would otherwise just kill the battery in no time. But being a hero is never easy. The SEI has to survive an absolute gauntlet of physical and chemical stress inside that battery. Seriously, the conditions it puts up with are some of the most extreme you can imagine on a microscopic scale. Just look at this number, 300%. What could that possibly refer to? Well, this represents the incredible physical stress the SEI has to handle when we start using next-generation anode materials. To put that number into perspective for you, the graphite anode in your typical battery, it expands by about 10% when you charge it. But these advanced silicon anodes, which can hold so much more energy, they expand by a mind-blowing 300%. And somehow, the SEI has to stretch and survive this massive change without breaking. It's just insane. And if it fails, if it cracks, the consequences are really bad. A cracked SEI means the electrolyte is exposed all over again, and the whole layer has to reform over and over, using up precious lithium every single time. This is what leads directly to your battery not holding a charge anymore, and in the worst-case scenarios, it can lead to overheating and some serious safety risks. So this is where the scientists and engineers come into the story. A huge part of battery research is basically figuring out how to reinforce our little nanoscale hero.
They're developing all these clever chemical tricks to build a better, stronger, and more flexible SEI right from the get-go.
And they have a whole toolkit to do it. They use special chemical additives that are kind of like vitamins for the battery, helping it form a more flexible SEI. Sometimes they'll even build an artificial SEI layer before the battery's even put together. They're also playing with things like high-concentration electrolytes and even using AI to rapidly discover new chemical recipes for the perfect protective shield.
So the real takeaway here is this. Mastering this invisible nanoscale interface isn't just some weird science experiment. It is, without a doubt, the key to unlocking the next generation of energy storage. It is the key to our sustainable energy future.
And let's be super clear about why this all matters to you and me. A better SEI directly leads to the things we all want. It means batteries that can charge in minutes instead of hours. It means electric cars with way more range and batteries that last for a decade or more. And it means safer, cheaper, grid-scale storage to power our entire world with renewable energy.
It's a pretty powerful idea when you stop and think about it, isn't it? Our whole energy future is being built on top of materials and interfaces that are so small we can't even see them. It really makes you wonder, what other invisible breakthroughs are out there just waiting to be discovered?